I'm going to be arrested for social media posts criticizing Israel, and specifically criticizing a genocidaire, Dalia Kurtz, who wants to see more Palestinian blood spilled. And after I publicized the fact that I was being charged for social media posts criticizing Israel, the police have responded by saying I'm harassing the police. So initially, I'm supposedly harassing a genocidaire for social media posts criticizing Israel. And then when I write about the fact that I'm being charged for criticizing Israel, the police are now saying they feel harassed. And a police investigator has actually brought in 4 different charges of harassment, intimidation, entrave, I guess interference, against me on the grounds that I wrote about the fact that I was being charged for social media posts criticizing Israel. And this is, I think, a pretty flagrant abuse of the state authority on behalf of those promoting Israel's crimes. This is obviously an attack against freedom of expression, but really what it is a use of the policing and legal system to target someone that opposes the Canadian government's complicity in a genocidal rampage by Israel that's left at least 100,000 people dead, killed in Gaza, destroyed most buildings, destroyed most agricultural land. Even if Israel just stopped tomorrow, people will be dying for years and years because of all the unexploded ordnance, because of all the chemical pollutants, the asbestos, all the other things that they've released into the toxic environment that is Gaza. And of course, we know that the Israeli government is actually trying to restart its ethnic cleansing and genocide campaign. So it's an absolute outrage that the Montreal police would put the powers of the state at the service of those who are doing everything they can to enable Israel to kill more and more and more Palestinians. So today, from what I understand, I'm going to go in there. They're going to try to put some conditions. They haven't made it clear what the conditions are. Initially, the initial condition was that I don't talk about the case. So I don't talk about the fact that I'm being charged for social media posts criticizing Israel. We'll see if they try to continue with that. We actually have a legal judgment, very clearly legal judgment, saying that's absolutely unconstitutional. Whether the police continue with that, I don't know at this point. The police officer yesterday told me they would detain me until I see a judge. He said it would be overnight. I've heard conflicting things on that. It might be 6 hours. It might be till tomorrow morning. Obviously, any minute of time that myself, all of you that are here to come down, thanks a lot for coming down. All of all this time is sucking resources away from the work we have to do to stop the Canadian government from enabling Israel's crimes. And this is what the Canadian government and Zionist forces across the country have been doing. They've been using the police system, they've used the legal system to basically suck up the resources of a grassroots popular uprising against the Canadian government's complicity in Israel's Holocaust. So it's a real shame on the Montreal police to have joined in this. I don't believe any of these charges will. I believe that the Crown will ultimately just drop the charges, and certainly if it came before a judge, the judge will just drop it. It's a joke. I'm a father of a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old. I've written 13 books. I'm not a threat to Dalia Kurtz. I've never met Dalia Kurtz. I've never talked to Dalia Kurtz. I've never messaged Dalia Kurtz. The police officer told me Dalia Kurtz lives in Toronto. I mean, it's a comedy. But this is what the police investigators have decided to move forward with. And I think the context of them moving forward with it is this onslaught of Zionist groups
claiming that, you know, Jewish Canadians are under threat. It's a danger. The mob, the pro-Palestinian mob, the deport them all, like Dalia Kurtz goes on and on. This anti-Palestinian racism, this Islamophobia that is being you know, pushed all over. This is the context of which the Montreal police investigator responds by following through on Dalia Kurtz. And I should also say that Dalia Kurtz, as the investigator told me initially, the initial investigator, that it's a legal firm. So she didn't bring it or just charge for it herself. It was a legal firm, and apparently it's the law firm of Neil Oberman, who's been launching injunctions against Palestine groups for months now, many against McGill. The encampment at McGill is the most well-known one. And so it's him that prepared this case. It goes back like 5 months, according to the police investigator. I don't know why they decided to move, you know, 2 days ago on this, but it's a coordinated attack. So it's a threat to freedom of expression, and most importantly, it's a threat to those who don't want our government to enable, to support, to assist, to finance, to arm Israel's genocidal onslaught against Palestinians in Gaza and West Bank and more generally.
Palestine! Palestine!